The movie starts today with a man coming home late. He finds the electricity is out and senses something unusual in his apartment. He feels like someone is inside and thinks a thief has come to rob his place. He opens the window and looks outside but sees no one. Suddenly, a man appears behind him, slowly approaches, and then strikes him with full force. But the man doesn't feel any pain and is unaffected by any blows. The mysterious man keeps attacking him, hitting him with all his strength. Then he jumps on him and bites his neck. After the bite, strange things start to appear on the man's body, and he dies immediately, falling to the ground. At that moment, the mysterious man's body begins to break apart and turns into a corpse, leaving us unsure what exactly happened. Shortly after this incident, the police receive a report and rush to the apartment. After completing their investigation, they discover that the man who committed the murder had been dead for 2.5 months. Yet his body came back to life and committed the murder. This puzzles the police. They can't understand how a corpse can rise from the dead and commit murder for no reason. Next, we move to an interview with Jane, an author of books and novels. She goes to a TV interview because of her latest book, which talks about black magic. Suddenly, she receives a call from a man who says, "I am the real killer," and asks her to meet him and conduct a live interview, promising to reveal everything. They set a meeting for the next day. The police, of course, prepared to catch him since he admitted to being the true murderer. The next day, the police are at the location for the interview. When the time comes, the man arrives and the interview begins. Jane asks him many questions, and he answers all of them. He introduces himself and tells her everything she asks. He even reveals that he is a magician who works with evil spirits, can raise the dead, control corpses, and make them kill people according to his orders. Jane can't believe it, it seems impossible. But he tells her, "You'll believe me later." She asks why he requested a live interview, and he explains that it's a warning for what will happen in the coming days. He plans to commit 3 murders and kill 3 important people. He gives her all the details, who he will kill, when, and where. All of them work for a global pharmaceutical company. The first victim will be Min Sub, the company director. The second is Lee Song, the executive officer, and the last is the owner of the company. However, he tells her that he may not kill them, provided one condition is met. The company president must apologize publicly for the crimes committed by the company, live in front of the world. The man gets up from the chair, and suddenly pulls a dagger from his pocket, taking Jane hostage to leave the building. But the police surround him from all sides and demand that he surrender. At that moment, a strange mark appears on his hand, and his body begins to disintegrate into ash. It becomes clear that he is just a corpse controlled by a sorcerer, used to carry out his orders. The police investigate and find out that only professional sorcerers can do this through a magical spell. This type of magic originated in Indonesia by skilled sorcerers. To perform the spell, the sorcerer must go to the place where the person died, take some soil from there, mix it with a little of his blood, and then he can raise the corpse and control it completely. The police then go to the company to investigate why the killer chose this particular company. They meet Myung, the company owner's daughter and the person in charge at the time. They can only learn one thing from her. The man who was killed initially was working as a researcher at their company. A police officer goes to prison and meets a prisoner named Hyun. He learns that Sunjel Company was secretly conducting human experiments to develop a new drug. The company asked him to bring 100 homeless people, or illegal immigrants, for experiments. They carried out experiments on all 100, paying them well, but all of them died after the experiments. Meanwhile, the police go to the company to protect all the people the killer said he would target. They have a large number of officers, so everyone feels safe. Journalists are also present to cover the events. At that moment, a zombie appears, and a large group gathers around him. It turns out these are the 100 people who had been experimented on and died. A sorcerer is controlling them, and their target is the company director. The police prepare for battle. Strange marks appear on the zombies' hands, and they start attacking, breaking through barricades. The director watches in terror as the zombies advance quickly. Inside, the police begin shooting at them to stop them, but nothing affects the zombies. Every one that falls gets back up immediately. In the end, they manage to enter the company and head upstairs to reach Min Sub and carry out the mission they came for. The police quickly grab Min Sub, and they get into the elevator to escape. At that moment, all the zombies reach them, but the elevator drops, so the zombies throw themselves one after another from above to reach the ground quickly and leave no chance for escape. Song Jung gets Min Sub and Lee into a car to escape from the zombies as fast as possible. But they didn't expect the zombies to know how to drive cars. Each group takes a vehicle and starts chasing them. The pursuit is extremely intense, and the zombies try every possible way to stop the car, but Song Jung and his companions manage to escape and enter a tunnel. However, the zombies follow them inside and begin surrounding the car from all sides. They try in every way to grab Min Sub and pull him out of the car, but they fail. The car exits the tunnel and manages to get away, but the driver is severely injured and must stop the car. The zombies catch up and grab Min Sub, the person they were after, who is terrified and screaming. They keep hitting him until he is finished. With that, they complete their first mission, killing Min Sub. Then, their attention turns to the executive director, who will be the next victim. At that moment, after completing their mission, all the zombies begin to disintegrate and disappear. During the chase, one of the zombies bites Song Jung on the hand. The wound isn't extremely serious, but he faints and is taken to the hospital. The doctors begin treatment and explain that the bite is poisoned, doing everything they can to save him. Song Jung realizes that he will likely be the next victim and is terrified. He goes to the company president's house and tries to convince him to appear in a live broadcast and apologize to the victims, as the criminal requested, in order to save themselves and the company. However, Sunner, the company president, refuses. He claims he knows nothing about what Song Jung is saying and that doing so would damage the company's reputation and cause massive losses. Seeing how scared Song Jung is, Sunner tells him he will discuss the matter with his daughter. With nothing else he can do, Song Jung decides to leave. On his way, he meets Myung and tells her the company is in a very difficult situation and is no longer what it used to be since she became responsible for it. At that point, Song Jung reveals the truth about the experiments the company was running. They were not developing a new treatment, but creating a chemical weapon to kill people and make huge profits. The police go back to Hyun in prison to investigate further and find the truth so they can track the real criminal. This time, the prisoner gives them a clue. He explains that shortly after the deaths of the 100 people who were experimented on, an older Indonesian man came to his office and asked about his daughter, who worked at the company, because she hadn't returned from work for several days. He didn't know her whereabouts. The man told him he had no information and that his job was only to provide people for the company. He advised him to go to the company and ask about her. The prisoner gave him Park's phone number, the same man who later appeared on TV for the interview with Jane. After that, both the Indonesian man and Park disappeared. The police asked the prisoner to describe the Indonesian man. He said he looked like a sorcerer and dressed in their traditional attire. On the day Park disappeared, the corpses of the 100 experimented on people vanished as well. From the prisoner's information, the police realized that the only way to stop all this was to find the Indonesian man, as he was the only one capable of such magic. Jane and her team go to Lee, who is convinced that he doesn't have much time left and is likely to die soon. He confesses everything he knows. At this point, it becomes clear that the company's experiments weren't for developing a new treatment. They were experiments to create a chemical weapon that kills people and generates massive profits. Lee gives them all the files and the names of the people who were experimented on, and tells them to hand them over to the police so they can investigate and punish everyone responsible for the crime. This way, all the truth is revealed, and everyone understands why those people died. Afterward, Jane begins thinking and comes to the conclusion that the magical spell to raise the dead requires taking soil from the place where the person died. Since these particular dead people died in the company's laboratory, the Indonesian man, the sorcerer, must be there, controlling and moving them from afar. Jane decides to go search for him in the lab, taking Young with her. After a short while, they arrive and enter the lab. The lab has been abandoned since the experiments, and the walls are covered with numerous symbols and magical inscriptions. Jane realizes that the spell was created by the sorcerer, through which he can control the corpses. Suddenly, while searching, they hear a noise outside and rush to leave the area. They sense someone is hunting them, and suddenly 2 zombies attack, trying to kill them. One grabs Young and strikes him violently, throwing him to the ground. Another grabs Jane and tries to strangle her. Just before he can kill her, Sujin intervenes, hits him, and saves Jane from death. We learn that Sujin had a dark spirit within her. She went to Japan to remove it, but after a long time and performing all the rituals, the spirit did not leave. She decides to go to China to seek help from a high monk to remove the evil spirit controlling her. During her time with the monk, she gains the power to control evil spirits and create magical spells just like the Indonesian sorcerer. Using this power, she can control and eliminate zombies. However, the 3 of them are surprised when a large number of zombies attack. They run to escape, but the zombies are numerous, and a violent battle ensues. They manage to kill a significant number of zombies and finally eliminate the last one, then quickly exit the lab. The next day, they are shocked to find that Li Song has put himself in danger. On the same day, Sunner, the company president, agrees to issue a live apology as requested, but he is insincere, simply reading the scripted words to end the matter. This angers the sorcerer greatly. Meanwhile, in the police department, the investigating officer discovers that the sorcerer's daughter was one of the 100 people experimented on in the company, who died. He is shocked when he sees her photo and quickly sends it to Jane. When Jane opens the message and sees the photo, she is also shocked. It is Jessie, her assistant who had been hired at the magazine long ago, looking terrified. At that moment, her father is controlling her to take revenge on those who killed her. Sujin goes with the police to the lab to find the sorcerer and stop the spells. The sorcerer uses all his magical power, moving his daughter. On the other side, since Sunner refuses even to apologize, the sorcerer moves his daughter, who tries to attack. The guards try to stop her, but she overpowers them easily. Sunner and his daughter manage to escape, but she quickly catches up with them. She enters the office and engages in a fierce fight with the guards, defeating them quickly. She reaches Sunner, who is terrified. She extends her hand to kill him, but suddenly her hand stops, and her body begins to collapse and disintegrate. Sujin reaches the sorcerer and places her hand on his face, stopping the spell at the last moment. The Indonesian man begins to cry for his daughter, unable to take revenge or kill those who murdered her. He also fails to force Sunner to apologize for his only daughter's death. But the story doesn't end there. 100 snake days appear, and she enters her father's office, closing the door. Her father is in an extremely difficult and terrified state, unable to believe he survived death. He never expected that his end would come at the hands of his daughter, who wants to eliminate all witnesses. She takes 100 paper towels, cuts them, and wounds her father's face. The virus spreads throughout his body, and he dies. When the police arrive, she pretends to be crying over her father, but Jane tells her to stop pretending because they already know everything, and everyone saw her kill her father. Before he came out to apologize, a hidden camera was placed in his suit, broadcasting live to millions of viewers. She becomes furious, unable to know what to do, as all the evidence is against her. The police arrest her, ending everything. In this way, justice is served for Jessie and all the innocent people who died because of the experiments. And with that, we reach the end of our film. If you enjoyed the movie, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.